Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
And now you can
Let
pass.
the record reflect that Councilman Martin has walked through the door and is going to sit down and be part of the
Hey.
floor.
Martin,
Oh,
that's all. And that was a battle to get that.
okay. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, what you call the roll?
Councilman King,
Present.
Councilman Martin,
Present.
Councilman Baker, absent. Councilman Wheeler, Councilman Thomas.
Present. Remarks on public agenda items only. Hold it, Mr. O'May. 1, 2, 3, begin.
Thank you. I have no trouble with ordinance 5315, but we have some problems in reference to resolution 5515, the resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the budget commission and authorize the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor. The problem I have, why would the budget commission do this? Do we not have a finance director? These things should be done by the finance director, not by some outsiders. These are the people whom we have been sworn to uphold those particular offices, and as well as people whom we have elected to hold positions here in this city and see that these things are done and carried out. So I have some problem with that, and when we begin to rely totally on the commissioners that are around here opposed to finance director. It's troubling to me. Maybe it's not troubling to you, but then when things begin to go haywire and nobody knows what's going on and who knows what this spent or what have you, you just can't have a finance director coming in here once or twice a week and try to keep the affairs and the financial affairs of this city in operation. It just does not speak well for us. And then we sit up here and holler, we doing this, and we doing that, and we together, we that. No, you're not. You're not doing your job. That's derelict. Some of these other folks need to go. As far as employees, those are key employees. The finance director, the law director, if they're doing their job, those are key people. And they do not have, you have the authority, but you sit up here and let the administration usurp your authority when they have to report to you as well as administration. When you ask them, you got to go through the mayor. Through the law director. No, you do not. You go directly to the law director. You go directly to the finance director. Why are you not doing your job, or why you this, that, or the other? You have that responsibility.
Time is up, Mr.
I'm sure it is. But anyway, I just want to see some action here from this council.
Thank you.
Checking you.
Thank you. I just was, yes, toward the agenda. Later, yeah. But toward the agenda, with respect to resolution 5515, if prior to the vote, you would please just explain to those present what exactly it is that's being voted on. The explanation is somewhat brief, and as I don't have a background on what the legislation itself says, if you would just explain a little bit more in depth what you would be voting for prior to the vote, that would be appreciated.
Let's go to discussion.
Yes, thank you.
comments or from the residents on agenda items only? Remarks from the public? Hearing none? Well, you got something to say?
So we need to know how much is it? I don't even see no price. And how much the rate? Determined by the budget. Agenda on Revolution 55. How much money is it? Nobody know?
You'll get your answer. Anyone else speaking on agenda items only? Hearing none, we will continue. Madam Clerk, where are we now?
Reports and announcements from the
Mr. Mayor? I see you right here. Thank you. Do you have anything for us? The mayor has no report at this time. New business. Madam Clerk, would you read into the record the new business that we have received? And tell us what it is about.
The new business is a media statement for immediate release. To the residents of East Cleveland, Ohio, November 17, 2015. As you have heard, the mayor's chief of staff filed a lawsuit a couple of months ago, seeking to force East Cleveland City Council to move forward with a procedure under which the city of Cleveland might annex the city of East Cleveland. East Cleveland City Council continues to believe that the petition requesting annexation and related papers do not comply with section 709.24 of the Ohio Revised Code, which governs annexations. The lawsuit, therefore, is unfounded. On November 6, 2015, City Council asked the court to dismiss it. In a July 31st letter to East Cleveland City Council, the Cuyahoga County Board of Elections stated that East Cleveland City Council and not the Board of Elections is responsible for considering the validity of an annexation petition under Ohio Revised Code section 709.24. After reviewing the annexation petition, City Council detected irregularities causing serious concerns and questions about its validity. During August 2015, City Council therefore exercised its authority to invalidate that petition. In addition to City Council's concerns about the annexation petition's irregularity, the Board of Elections issued a certificate relating to that petition that does not appear to be fully compliant with Ohio Revised Code section 709.24. The board's certificate is missing essential language and information that the statute requires the board to swear to under oath. Consequently, and despite the accusations in the lawsuit, the statutes governing the municipal annexation process have not been fulfilled. Mindful that City Council is responsible to be vigilant and to serve the interests of all East Cleveland residents, City Council is simply doing its best in exercising care and responsibility to ensure that state and local law are complied with on this very important issue. Importantly, in early November 2015, the Financial Planning and Supervision Commission that has been working with East Cleveland voted to approve East Cleveland's financial recovery plan. The commission's chairman was recently quoted as saying, "The beauty of the fact is that the recovery plan, does show that there is a climb out of the deficit position, and a lot can happen in those 5 years, good or bad, and we can't predict that. But at least the recovery plan, shows a concerted effort to get out of that deficit position." In the meantime, City Council has continued to lobby for an initiative along the lines that it first announced during the spring. The purpose of this initiative is to obtain truly objective, professional assessments of all of East Cleveland's go-forward options, including whether East Cleveland can be preserved as an independent, fully functioning city. That initiative now is taking root. East Cleveland City Council engaged Buckley King, LPA, at no cost to the city's current budget to assist in seeking the analysis of qualified municipal finance professionals who can provide the information that City Council and East Cleveland citizens need to decide our city's future. In an effort to depoliticize this hot-button issue, a group of diverse residents of East Cleveland has come together, and with the assistance of Buckley King, LPA, has been in contact with the firm of Conway McKenzie, a nationally recognized turnaround firm skilled in advising and working with financially distressed municipalities. This citizens group has met with representatives of Conway McKenzie to discuss the present state of East Cleveland and the critical need for a review and evaluation of all possible options for the city. Conway McKenzie has expressed a willingness at no expense to the city of East Cleveland to work with the citizens group to identify private support to underwrite the costs associated with conducting such a study. Conway McKenzie would engage in a 3-phase effort that would include: 1, conducting a feasibility study; 2, developing an action plan; and 3, unveiling the study's finding and action plan for public review and comment. This initiative is imperative, regardless of what happens with the annexation lawsuit, because serious doubts linger regarding whether both cities would agree to annexation. Many East Cleveland residents staunchly oppose being annexed. The city of East Cleveland's residents also have their doubts, and recent announcements in the media suggest that the city of Cleveland may have too many of its own problems and financial commitments to take responsibility for East Cleveland. For example, according to recent published reports, the city of Cleveland's aging fleets of police cars and emergency medical vehicles desperately need to be upgraded or replaced. But the city of Cleveland lacks the financial capability to accomplish this in the near term. This news does not bode well for those who argue that annexation would enable the city of Cleveland's health and safety forces to provide more expansive services in East Cleveland if the two cities merge. Instead, this news suggests that combining the two cities would place an even greater strain on Cleveland's already limited resources. Aside from this, the city of Cleveland has other financial problems on the horizon that might make its citizens think twice about annexing with East Cleveland. According to media reports, the city of Cleveland will have to spend $13 million during 2016 and up to $8 million annually for several more years to fulfill its obligations regarding police monitoring under a court-ordered consent decree with the U.S. Department of Justice. Meanwhile, East Cleveland City Administration has told the Ohio Auditor of State that East Cleveland's capital needs in the years to come to replace worn streets, fix infrastructure, and replace aging equipment total more than $174 million. That estimate is speculative and subject to debate. Whatever the actual capital needs may be, and even if those expenditures are spread over a decade or more, will the taxpayers of Cleveland want to pay for those too? As things stand now, East Cleveland City Council believes the answer may be no. Therefore, determining whether East Cleveland can save itself is critical to everyone, whether they live in East Cleveland or in Cleveland. East Cleveland City Council supports the Citizens Group initiative. Please stay tuned.